continue. Forms of cooking that are prohibited. The Torah uses the word bishul, which literally translates as boiling. To avoid confusion, we will employ that word in our discussion. However, many poskim contend that other types of cooking are also included in Torah prohibition of bishul, basar, v'chalav. Many poskim. So bishul is a cooking. So but cooking, I mean, in English when I'm going to say cooking, is it always you mean like in the water? I mean, you would say cooking. What's like I'm going to cook dinner, let's say, and you can do a barbecue. So it's still going to be like you're cooking in some sense. So here in Hebrew, cooking means boiling, right? When we're discussing wines, right? So we said buy mivushal wine, right? Mivushal meaning that it was cooked wine. Right? So, but cooking with wine is literally it's like boiling on close to the boiling point. Okay, but here, I mean, if you have a grill, right, and you have a steak, and you put on top, or you have a burger, and you put on top of this burger cheese, so there is no water, but of course, everybody understands that it's cooking. Okay, so they're going to use the word bishul, no problem. Continue. Broiling, barbecuing, roasting, frying, and baking. Okay, so the difference of the opinion before we continue. So everybody agreed that cooking, meaning boiling, is for sure is a Torah prohibition. And I guess the lenient opinion is that all other cooking may be only forbidden rabbinically, the way I understand. But most of many poskim, it does not have it says most, it says many poskim consider that other forms of cooking also the Torah prohibited. That's so nobody said it is allowed. So the only question it's not allowed on what level? On biblical level, on rabbinical level. That's the only difference. Continue. Broiling, barbecuing, roasting, frying, and baking. Broiling and barbecuing, roasting and frying and baking are all considered forms of bishul and are prohibited. Okay, that's very clear. So any time of cooking, meaning that you prepare food. Okay, so next point is the kli rishon, the original cooking pot. One who places pieces of cold meat into a pot of hot milk, or pour milk into a pot of the hot meat, even after the pot has been removed from the fire, has violated the Torah prohibition of bishul, basar, v'chalav. Okay, so let's read it one more time, and we're going to explain. We actually discussed this this concept of kli rishon in our Shabbos class. So just to remind us what we said there, kli rishon is the vessel that was actually on a fire, right? On a source of heat, be it fire, like gas, like a fire, or electric heat. That doesn't matter, right? And kli sheni is the one that after you took this pot from the source of heat, and you transfer to the secondary utensil, it's going to be kli sheni. So now we're talking about kli rishon, that the original cooking pot that was on a fire. So one more time, one who places piece of cold meat into pot of hot milk. So one substance is cold, right, and one is hot. Or pour cold milk into a pot of hot meat, even after the pot has been removed from the fire, has violated the Torah prohibition, basar v'chalav. Okay, so in this instance, one substance was very hot. I mean that because it was in kli rishon, right? And another it's cold. So was it cold meat or cold milk? Does not make any difference. And just to remind us of what we said about Kli Rishon in the different class, so we said about Kli Rishon that it has potential to cook. So because Kli Rishon is not only vessel itself, we call I mean Kli Rishon, literally, yes, it's a first vessel, but halachically it's something that has potential to cook even if it was removed from the fire. If you transfer into Kli Sheni, so the potential to cook goes down tremendously. So, according to many opinions, it's not going to cook. That's a big difference between Sephardic custom and Ashkenazic. Continue. Next point, Irui. Irui is a pouring from Kli Rishon. One may not pour hot milk over cold meat, or hot meat over gravy over cheese. So irui is also a very important term to know. So it's something that it's being poured from an original vessel. So for us it's very, very important to know. I'm just to draw the parallel from water urn, right, from the tank that we use on Shabbos. So that's why we cannot use, in many cases you cannot use you cannot drink from that cup. For example, if you're making coffee, according to majority of the opinion, there is a leniency, but according to majority of the opinion, don't do it from that cup, right? So how do we do coffee or other beverages? So first you pour it into one cup, right? You make coffee, you mix coffee, let's say this instant coffee with sugar, with whatever you want, right? And then you into this second cup you pour from the first cup. So because why? Because this this water that comes from this water urn is very, very hot, right? And it's considered to be like Kli Rishon, okay, like first vessel. Okay, so if somebody pours from this first vessel that was on a source of fire, right, hot milk into the cold meat, or hot gravy on a cheese, so they violated this Torah prohibition. Continue, Kli Sheni. So Kli Sheni, now we go into the secondary vessel. So somebody had, let's say if we continue our example with a cup, so this cup that you pour from the water urn, that's Kli Sheni. Okay. Kli Sheni, salting, soaking, and pickling. Let's see. So salting, soaking, and pickling, as we learned in our Shabbos class, it's actually cooking, right? Cooking meat and dairy in a Kli Sheni, or salting. Okay, cooking. Okay, let's read. Soaking or pickling meat in dairy do not constitute bishul basar v'chalav. However, the food itself is certainly rabbinically prohibited, since the meat and milk absorbed taste from each other. Okay, so let's try to understand what it says here. So now we're doing different. We're discussing different types of cooking. Okay, so one more time, and we're going to explain. Cooking meat and dairy in a Kli Sheni, right? So I mean in a secondary utensil, or salting. Okay, so salt actually cooks whatever you salt, right? Soaking also absorbs, as we said, soaking for an extended period of time, or pickling a meat in dairy. I'm not sure why somebody would do. I mean, in some custom, I think we had this student from Turkey. So he said that Turkey, I'm not sure. I mean, he was talking about Turkey, but I'm not sure about other people. So they would marinate the shish kebab in yogurt, in milk, and all. It was their custom. That's how they were doing it, right? And right? And he said, I don't know, say sometimes they just eat like this because this yogurt, because of the, I don't know, all of this acids, whatever is in yogurt, so it's actually cooks the meat, like even in a cold thing. That's what he told me. Okay, it's very interesting. Right, so that's what they're doing. They cook in a secondary utensil. Secondary utensil meaning it's off the fire. So it's right in, let's say this pot with milk was in one utensil, and they pour the milk into the secondary pot. Right, that's a secondary. That's cliche meat. Right, and they added meat there. So of course it is prohibited by it only rabbinically. Or salting, right? Salt, as we said, also cooking, soaking, also cooking, pickling meat for sure in dairy, right? So that's, I guess, some kind of marinade, right? Dairy marinade, and they use for pickling meat. Okay, it's not considered bishul basar v'chalav. So it's not cooking per se, right? As a cooking, as we know, with the heat, right? But still, it is forbidden rabbinically. Why? Because one substance is going to be absorbed in another. It's like it's known fact. Okay. So, any questions on what we said before we continue? We're going. Questions? Okay. A second. Okay. No questions. No problem. So we continue with. Cooking with electricity. The topic is modern technology has introduced new forms of cooking, unknown in early times, like a microwave, right? So, cooking with electricity. For all practical purposes, cooking on an electric stovetop or an electric oven is analogous to cooking over the fire, regarding the prohibition of cooking basar v'chalav. I'm not sure why somebody would think differently, but it's obvious, right? As we said many times, is a source of heat. That doesn't matter where it came from. It's from electricity, or it came from what is it? From gas. Doesn't matter. Okay, so electric or gas. So electric or gas, it doesn't matter. It's still considered to be cooking. Continue. Microwave oven. Contemporary authorities have not ruled definitively whether microwave cooking is considered actual bishul. Therefore, since there is a possibility of violating Torah prohibition of cooking basar v'chalav, one may not cook basar v'chalav in microwave oven. I'm not sure why would somebody do it to begin with, but let's see the commentary. Sigras Moshe, Orach Chaim 352, rules that microwave cooking is considered cooking with regard to the prohibition of cooking on Shabbos. Okay. Presumably, he would take the same view regarding basar v'chalav. Okay, I'm not sure why would they say it might not be cooking, because we bought this microwave, I don't know, a long time ago. So, and I was looking through the manual. Like in olden days, they supply this paper manual, and now they just give you a link to the website. So in that paper manual, there are so many things, recipes of cooking, many presets. We never use them, but there are many presets that you can use for cooking for sure. Microwave, like it's by definition of manufacture, they can use it for cooking. Okay, maybe this book was written a long time ago. I'm not sure. Okay, but anyways. Okay, so since it is possible that somebody violates the Torah prohibition, we don't use microwave for cooking basar v'chalav. Okay, no problem. Continue. One must stress that the issue discussed above pertain to the prohibition of cooking basar v'chalav. So meaning cooking meat and milk together, meat and dairy together. Under no circumstances one may eat meat and dairy that came into contact with each other while they were hot, regardless of whether they were in original cooking pot or how they were warmed. including microwave oven or via any other forms of warming. So it doesn't matter, like even if you cooked in milk, you cooked in a dairy pot, and meat in a meat pot, right? And then they got together somehow, like they touch each other. It's a problem. So okay, no problem. Continue. B. So it was B. The degree of heat necessary for bishul. Okay, that's okay. The degree of heat necessary to affect bishul is defined by Yatz Ledes Bo. See the chapter 2 for the definition of Yatz Ledes Bo. So Yatz Ledes Bo, again, when you hand recoil. So there are a few opinions, but when you hand recoils, that's what it is.